midnight special. Shine a light on me. Have a midnight special. Shine a devil of light on me.
Thank you, and good morning. We're the Bee Gees. I'm Morris.
And I'm Robin.
And I'm Barry. We're very pleased to be the first actual group to host the Midnight Special.
And joining this morning are so many great artists that we want to get right to it.
So our first guest is truly one of the kings of rock and roll, Mr. Jerry
Lee
Lewis!
Yay!
And you know, doing this kind of show is quite exciting for us because we get a chance to get together with the artists and people that we've really enjoyed over the years.
Oh, no, not only that, but we also get a chance to talk to them and be in the same place and hear them. And what we do now is to plan to sit back and enjoy with you one of the greats in the rhythm and blues field today. And here doing their smashing new hit record, Neither One of Us, Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Yay! And now we'd like you to join us in welcoming a new young performer who we thought was fantastic in rehearsals. Incredible. Here making his first appearance on the Midnight Special is Frank Welker.
People, excuse me, don't talk while I'm speaking. There's a new sound around today called reggae.
Reggae it's called.
Reggae.
That's it.
It's a Jamaican import.
Yes.
And the young man who brought it over here is our next guest.
Yes.
Yes, and his big hit, I Can See Clearly Now, which we'll hear a little bit later, earned him a gold record.
Yes.
And he's well on his way to another. And here, to stir it up,
Good stirrer.
is
Right.
Johnny Nash.
Hey! We're really having a ball this morning.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. And next week you can also have a ball, but we're having a special ball tonight.
Right on.
I know.
And of course, next week your host, great show, your host will be Bing Crosby.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Cosby Stills and Nash.
No.
Cosby. And joining Bill will be, of course, Ray Charles.
Oh.
Right down.
Ray Charles, Billy Preston.
Ooh, soulful.
Oh, wow. Cool. Far out.
Just you wait a minute. Steely Dan.
Yes.
Fanny, and why not?
Lovely lads.
Yes.
Taj Mahal, all the way from India.
You cracked
that one. Yeah.
Well,
Hold on. Taj Mahal, Waylon Jennings, and comedian David Brenner. Thank you. Not bad. Not bad, Glad? Hey, Glad?
Bad line-up, eh, Gladys?
Right.
Right on.
oh, by the way, Gladys, I just heard that your new album has just been certified for a gold record.
You cheeky little thing.
Far out.
But your record, Neither One of Us, well, we'd like you to introduce the next guest because he wrote it.
I'd love
You didn't know that, did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, he's on the show, and we want you to introduce it.
I'd love to. I
Do that.
really
Go
would.
ahead, Gladys.
When my record producer, Joe Porter, played Neither One of Us for us off the young man's album, I flipped out.
Yeah,
You know?
fantastic.
I really did. He writes, he sings, and I understand he plays a mean game of football. You know, really.
Can he play properly?
Yeah, now, wait.
tell us
Now,
more.
I don't know much about home runs, but when it comes to good music, that's something else again. Of
course.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Weatherly.
And now Jerry's going to play some of his greatest hits.
I heard it through the grapevine that Gladys Knight and the Pips are going to sing another number.
Tell me what.
Would you believe he's been dying to try that pun out all night?
And I believe it, folks.
Good morning.
I believe it, and here again are Gladys Knight and the Pips. And now back with the song that started the reggae sound.
Reggae sound. Reggae.
Reggae,
Say it
reggae.
out loud, say it
Now back with the song that started the reggae sound, and it's Johnny Nash. I can remember a few years back a big hit song called End of the World. And after all these years, we're going to have a chance to hear that song again. from Miss Skeeter Davis.
Thank you very, very much, everybody. We want to thank all the great people that have stopped by this morning. Thank you.
And we have had a lot of fun. And Robin wants to remind you.
That your next host next week will be Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby. And we'd like to wish you all a good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the Midnight Special. It's great to be back here again. Fantastic. My God, excuse me. We've got a special treat for you this morning. Very special treat. We'd like to introduce to you on television for the very first time. Thank you. For the very first time, Morris and his famous dummy. Morris's famous dummy. You're crazy, man. Morris's famous dummy, Donny. Take it, Donny.
Remember, a day without Donny.
A day without Donny is a day without sunshine. Are you satisfied?
Thank you, children. We have a great show for you this morning, and Donny's here to tell you all about it. Who's joining us today, Donny? That's right. The Steve Miller Band and Maxine Weldon. And who else, Donny? That's right. Jimmy Spearis and the Mule Deer and Moondog Medicine Show. And who else, Donny? Neil Diamond? You're kidding. No. That's right, he isn't. Oh. Anyway, John Kay, he said, actually. And here he is, our first guest, Wilson Pickett. Woo!
Thank you, fellas.
You want me to do it? How would you like to introduce our next guest?
Only if they like the blues. But do you guys like the blues? Oh. I mean guys like T-Bone Walker, Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry, and Johnny Lee Hooker.
Dang. But what about Paul McCartney?
Does Paul McCartney sing the blues, baby?
No, damn it, man, but he's British.
Well, go on, then. Introduce him.
But right now, let's listen to the Steve Miller Band.
Thank you, everybody. We would like to introduce to you at home and to our studio audience a young man who is making his first appearance on a major show. He is a gifted writer, and when you hear him performing this morning, you will never know why everyone... You'll all know why everyone is so excited about him. So could we could we please have a warm welcome for Mr. Jimmy Spears?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jill Cosby.
Bing Crosby once introduced my next guest.
Cosby.
Bill Crosby once introduced my next guest
Oh, Bill Cosby.
as the next Billie Holiday. Chris...
He'd look funny in a dress.
Shut up.
Go on.
Chris Christopherson said that Maxine Weldon sings songs the way he has never heard them sung before.
Right.
What can you say?
No.
What can you say?
But you
Can
can't
I-
say more.
We all totally agree.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maxine Weldon. A bit earlier in the show, we introduced John Kay, formerly of Steppenwolf. And now we would like to reintroduce John Kay formally. So here's a formal introduction to John Kay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, John Kay. Our next guests are currently the funniest bunch of lads to come along in quite a while. They call themselves, wait for it, they call themselves the Mule Deer and Moondog Medicine Show.
The what?
The Mule Deer and Moondog Medicine Show.
The what?
The Mule Deer and Moondog Medicine Show.
I don't believe it. As I was saying, they are rapidly becoming a very popular comedy team, appearing at concerts on TV across the country, everywhere. So let's really hear it for the Mule Deer and Moondog Medicine Show.
Okay, now, before we continue the show, we want to remind all of you that your host next week will be the great Paul Williams. Oh. Thank you. Fantastic.
And joining Paul will be Chris Christopherson. Also, taken...
No, we should... Rita Coolidge. Rita Coolidge will be on next week as well.
Yeah.
Hi. Not forgetting the Electric Light Orchestra. You got them next week too.
Yay!
And King Harvest, Brewer and Shipley.
And Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen.
Oh, I'd like great. Thank you. Before we say goodbye, we really want to thank all the fantastic guests. Thank you, you're marvelous. And it was a real thrill hosting a midnight special again. It was really fantastic.
That's right.
Thank you for having us here.
You've been a really great audience, and we hope to host it.
A little traveling music, please.
Thank you all very much.
And just get the light out of me.
Thank you.
Continue.
And welcome to the Midnight Special once again. Now, this morning, we've got a great show. We've got a British rock revival. Tell them who's on the show, Rob.
Oh, I certainly will. We have this morning, with the greatest of pleasure, joining us, Jerry and the Pacemakers. Jerry and the Pacemakers.
The Searchers.
The Searchers will be joining us. Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders. Yes. Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders. The Hollies. Yes. Woo.
Billy J. Kramer. Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas.
That's right. And Herman's Hermits. And our good friend Peter Noon. We'll be talking to Peter later.
Before we'd like to start this show, we would like to thank a very good friend of ours, Mr. Richard Nader.
That's right.
Who, after all these years... Hold it. I'm not finished yet.
He's lovely. I love him. He's great.
Don't touch me. If you've seen him, my friends, you tell him, don't touch me.
Go on.
After, I would like to say that Mr. Richard Nader, after all these years, brought these groups together so that we could all have them here this morning. How about a great hand for Mr. Richard Nader?
Our first guest this morning were probably the most successful group of the early 60s, in America and right throughout the world. A midnight special welcome, please, for Peter Noon and Herman's Hermits. Thank you. Thank you, Herman's Hermits. Thank you. Thank you, Herman's Hermits. We'll be back later, and we'll have a chance to talk to Peter Noon.
Name dropper.
And our next guests started off at the very top with their first British release called How Do You Do It? Then came Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying, Ferry Across the Mersey, and more.
Did they ever hit with that?
You saw the rehearsal! You're not supposed to say that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry and the Pacemakers. Our next guests were popular performers on American television, as well as being successful with their records.
Yes, also, I would like to add that although the song, The Game of Love, was a big hit in Britain in 1963, but it wasn't until 1965 that it became a big hit in the United States.
And the name of the group we're talking about is Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders. Now, before we continue with the show, we want to remind you that next week, your host will be the very funny Mr. Richard Pryor. A little bit of... Joining Richard will be the Electric Light Orchestra. Mr. Albert King. Albert King. Doug Kershaw, Joe Walsh, formerly of the James Gang, Melissa Manchester, and Joe Hicks. So be sure to watch. Now. Shut up. The Hollies are still one of the most successful groups. They continue to be as popular on records and in concerts as they were when they recorded this gold record. They're going to do for you now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hollies.
Thank you. Thank you, people. And speaking of people, many people do know that the Beatles came from Liverpool. And along with the Beatles, this very next group put Liverpool on the map with such hits as Sweets for My Sweet, Love Potion No. 9, and especially this one called Needles and Pin. People, the Searchers.
Billy J. Kramer has many things to his credit. For example, he won the Melody Maker Award. He was also the first artist to record a Lennon-McCartney song, Do You Want to Know a Secret? Ladies and gentlemen, Billy J. Kramer and the Decoders.
We're having such a lovely time on our little show this morning. But before continuing, here are some of the people we're going to be seeing on the Midnight Special in the weeks to come. First of all, Van Morrison. Arlo Guthrie. T-Rex. Randy Newman. Loggins and Messina. Plus Edgar Winter. Billy Preston and many, many more. But now, and once again, a big hand for it, Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Thank you. Before we say goodbye, we'd like to thank all our wonderful guests, Herman's Hermits and Peter Noon. Jerry and the Pacemakers. The Searchers.
And of course, Billy J. Kramer and the Decoders. Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Thank you very, very much, everybody. And good morning, and here we are, once again, on the fantastic Midnight Special. Now,
Hold it.
Well, it hasn't.
now we've got a great lineup this morning.
Oh, this is true.
Right?
This is very true.
Fantastic
indeed.
lineup.
And I would like to tell. Oh, hang on. And I would like to tell personally our audience tonight what a lovely guest we have on our little show this evening. Correct?
Correct, James. Correct and right. Right and correct.
Wrong.
Well, what do you mean wrong?
No, look, I mean, things can go so far, and things can go so far.
Harris,
You
the-
beat,
Harris-
belt it.
Perish the thought.
Belt it. The thing is that you two keep doing solos all the time. Well, I'm fed up with this lot because it's been going on for the past 2 shows. Now, for a start, I would like to point out that also I am a host of the show, and I would like to introduce to this lovely audience the guests on the show.
Well,
So if you don't mind,
yeah,
I'd like
all
you
right.
two to step back to the rear.
Well, it's set back to the rear.
Back to the rear.
Well, why?
Because I said so.
All right.
Go.
Back to the rear.
Yes, back to the rear. Ladies and gentlemen, joining my...
You little creep.
Joining my wonderful brothers and me, and myself, I should say, this morning is Mr. Lee Michaels, a new group, Apple and Appleberry, Monty Python's Flying Circus,
You think you're really smart, don't you?
Belt It. I not only do a better job than you, mate, but I'm getting the audience here all together. They're right in the palm of my hand. Look at them. Anyway, and our first guest this morning, let's face it, he's the king of rock and roll and one of the greatest ever, Mr. Chuck Berry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Michaels is always amongst the tops when it comes to records. And his concerts have excited thousands of young ears.
And their noses, eyes, legs, eyebrows.
Feet, armpits.
Yes, all the young heads. As I was saying, Lee Michaels is a super performer. A super performer. I don't usually say super, because super makes me sound strange, so I don't say super. as I was saying, he's a fantastic performer. And our next musician on the Midnight Special.
That's right, folks.
Everybody, Lee Michaels.
Lee Michaels. Thank you, Lee Michaels. Thank you very much.
Marvellous.
Right.
Good grief.
The boys are together.
Morris, I want you to do something for me.
What?
I want you to say King Crimson 3 times.
King Crimson 3 times.
No. That isn't what I meant.
You mean three?
Oh, I know. Need I tell you?
King Crimson, Crimson.
Anyway,
I can do it.
while the two of them are discussing their
I can say
name,
King Crimson
one
3
thing
times.
is for sure.
Oh, yes, I can. King Crimson, King Crimson.
It's easy to appreciate their music. They are one of the finest groups to come out of England, and we're delighted tonight to have them on their first American TV show, our little show this morning. So we'd like to give a big, hearty welcome to King Crimson.
Now, tonight, our brother Morris, has wanted to do one of his own songs and completely ruin his reputation as we know it today. Shut up. And he's pretty keen on coming on tonight and proving to you just what an incredible musician he really isn't. Thank you. It's appreciated.
That's Morris.
He's coming now.
He's just about on. What Morris is about to do,
Get it on.
he wants to make a fool out of himself, and it comes from his own category.
Morris is a great humorist and loves to play jokes with the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful commercial. Beautiful.
But folks, without any further ado, let's see them. Their debut on Midnight Special, Apple and Appleberry.
Well, it's not that good.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Thank you. But it's a pretty good way to introduce the great sounds of King Crimson.
It's always a pleasure to introduce a lady on the show, and it's a greater pleasure to introduce one who sings as well as our next guest. I'm sure you're going to enjoy with us this morning. Don't be nervous, love. Lady love, Barbara Mason.
Thank you. We'd like to thank all our marvellous guests for joining us on our little show this morning.
Thank you, marvellous guests. And Chuck Berry.
Lee
Not forgetting
Michaels.
Chuck Berry.
Of course not. Lee Michaels, Barbara Mason.
King Crimson?
He said it. He said it.
That's supposed to be a
Do you
funny
understand?
joke.
He said it. Right, he said it. And of course, not forgetting Apple and Appleberry and Monty Python's Flying Circus for joining us this morning.
And as always, we've had a fantastic time.
This is true. And of course it's true. And we'd also like to thank the studio audience and all of you at home for watching. And of course, we'd like to wish you a very good morning.